Yo! YouTube! Hey, it's fucking going. Hope everyone's had a bloody good week. I've been slamming pizza. My missus dropped me off. She's like, I'm leaving you at the shop. Yelling at me. No, I'm only joking. I got myself a Tally and walked myself home. Only joking. She went to her parents' 30th wedding anniversary and left me at fucking Bottle-O. How good's that? Anyway, filled myself up with pizza. How's the world going? It's out of control, the political correctness. I'm just amazed that I can sit here and tell everyone that all the whole left-wing losers are fuckwits. They are complete, utter fuckheads for kicking Chris Lilley, removing Chris Lilley off Netflix. They've gone after bloody Little Britain. It's so fucking pathetic. Black Lives Matter. They've gone and they've said some losers like having a big whinge sesh about Paw Patrol because it betrays police in a good light. Can you believe this shit world? Oh my goodness. I just can't wait for the if anyone tries to pull down a statue in my city, I'll tell you what, that'll be a fucking day that they regret. I look forward to that day. I'll be like, oh shit, going down to punch on. I think there's got to be a line in the sand. These people are all fucking pathetic losers. Just remember that. They've been brainwashed. I think, like, I care for the people. These people have been brainwashed. They are fucking pathetic. They are fucking pathetic. They don't give a shit. They're virtue signaling left-wing crybaby losers. They're fucking losers. And just never capitulate to them, people. Like, always remember this, that you just remember this when they fucking say to you, you can't say that. I mean, the thing is, sometimes I understand too when it's out of control, and I've had to do a little bit of censorship, but I think people can see that I'm fair and balanced. Fair and balanced. Fair and fucking balanced, people. Come on. And we can see these people are out of control. Let's watch a little bit of Jonah from Tonga. It was so good. Chris Lilley shows. I think it was like Summer High, Jonah. He had I think there's one of his shows that are still on there. That's the fucking Lunatics, which is bloody hilarious. The best thing about this is like the normies are waking up and going, what? Like my missus, I'll be like, hey babe, they just cancelled this. And she'll be like, are you fucking joking me? She's on the blower. Oh my God, mum, grandma. And she's having a crack telling everyone, you know what I mean? And I'm just thinking, what is going on? I love it because it just wakes up people to how fucking pathetic this is. Steve's not here. I don't know where Steve is. He was supposed to come on tonight and help me, Steve from Dapper Den, but anyway, shit happens. Howdy, Dusty. How you fucking going, Dusty? Your voice was featured on ABC Background Briefing about the far-right anti-Asian rhetoric during the pandemic. Yes, I'd seen that. Someone sent me. It was on. I seen some fucking thing on the. I seen the podcast anyway, so I posted in the comments section. They were like having a big fucking sook whinge, like, oh, there was a banner and it said fucking COVID-19 made in China and blah, 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 whinge, 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 cry, cry, cry. And so I just posted up the video of us, the boys, chucking the banner off and me going, yeah, mate, we just want to raise awareness to everything's made in China and maybe we should bring back some manufacturing. This isn't a dig at the Chinese people. Said clearly, but the ABC are a bunch of retarded losers. They're a part of the problem. They're a part of the cancel culture. They are like brainwashed cultural Marxists. They totally are. You know what I mean? And, we went through the Frankfurt Institution, which is pretty much the cultural Marxist epicenter. You have the traditional Marxist conflict theory, which is like, that is identity politics. That is carving everyone into an identity politics group and going, classic Karl Marx Communist Manifesto, class struggle. Everyone gets divided up into the fucking little identity groups. It's called conflict theory in Karl Marx Communist Manifesto. But then we have critical theory. We have the other cultural, the Marxist school of thought, the Frankfurt School, and the critical theory, where they are critical and criticizing all cultural norms, all traditions, everything that you would hold dear to your life, things like anything that's in the realm of common sense. The critical theory, it's another Marxist ideology. And this is where we are faced with this. Really, this is where it comes. This comes the cultural Marxism from the school of thought, and they look at the statues and they go, "Oh, Winston Churchill said some nasty things about fucking Muslims," or whatever they're whinging about. There was something about them going after fucking Gandhi's statue. Like, are they fucking retarded or what? Like, Churchill fucking destroyed the Nazis. He, had the balls and the tenacity to stand up for his people in trying times, to have the courage. So they want to. They're not happy. They don't want you to have balls. They don't want you to stand up. They want you demoralized. That's who these people are. They are fucking weirdos. They don't give a fuck. They'll carve you up into your identity politics group, and they'll use you, and then your head will be you'll be the first head to roll. They do not give a fuck if you're black, if you're a woman, if you're gay, if you're disabled, if you're broke, whatever the fucking thing, whatever they're telling you is wrong with you, they're lies. And the thing is there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. This is life, and all we need to do is just say a bit of personal responsibility and get on with the job. Unless you're fully fucking disabled, fully injured, or something, it's all bullshit. There's something you can do in the economy. You can make your own finances. You can make your own money. You can have personal responsibility. You can budget your money. You can live the lifestyle. You decide. Work the hours. You decide. If you're happy to work part-time, well, don't cry to be broke. You know what I mean? If you never want to work a full-time wage, don't cry to us that you're broke. If you're too fucking proud to go and cut grass or clean cars or scrub toilets or be a cleaner, if you're too proud to work a simple job, then just shut the fuck up. And we don't care. No one cares that your skin is black or that you're gay or you're a fucking woman. Get over yourselves. No one gives a fuck. No one cares. Everyone's getting on with life. Normal people who are trying to get on with life, having a beer and a fucking laugh with their mates and family and friends. And the fucking losers. That's all they are. Pathetic, weak, crybaby losers. They got problems. There's many theories how this occurred. Of course, I put it down to the communist fucking, because they have it clearly written out, an agenda to carve everyone up into the identity politics group or the critical theory group, and it's all there. It's historically written down. We've seen it time and time again. They must be upset because the economic theories failed, so now all they've got is cultural Marxism. It's the self-fulfilling prophecy. I have to make this something of the theory stick, and they're trying fucking hard, and they're using blacks and gays and women and fucking blah 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 blah. They do not give a fuck. They won't reach out of their own pocket to help you. They won't volunteer to help you. They won't pray for you. They won't do anything but use you. They don't give a fuck. They do not care. They don't want you to listen to a Winston Churchill speech and be inspired and be like, fuck, this old alcoholic who looks like a mutant had a chop at life and changed the world. Maybe I could do it. Look at Gandhi, the fucking dude who had a crack, peaceful protesting. It's a pretty good example. I'm not saying any of these people are fucking perfect, because this is the reality of life. No one is, you fucking losers. Wake up to reality. These people can't self-critique themselves. What they want to do is they want to like airbrush society, and they're like, see, everything's perfect. It's like North Korea. They want it to be like North Korea, where they sit there and in North Korea, they're like, everything's fucking good as gold, mate. And everyone's smiling for the cameras and shit, mate. No one hates it in North Korea, because the people who hate it are in the fucking gulag. So they remove anything that could be upsetting. And the truth is, all it is painting a fake veneer. It's like an Easter egg. Like if you got an Easter egg and it's wrapped all beautiful, lovely, and fucking sparkly with all these colors, and look, it's amazing. And you open and you go, fuck, this is so good. And you open it up and it's rotten inside, rotten to the core. So it's all just fake. The fake news and the political correctness. I don't know how it all started with. Remember when they used to say, be tolerant, be tolerant, be tolerant? You have to be tolerant. Why aren't you tolerant for the, you have to tolerate all these different people and different ideas, tolerance I agree with. Because I walk down the street and I see a lot of people who are fuckheads, to be honest, and I watch the news, bang, or I fucking turn the radio on, and I just hear a bunch of fuckheads all the time, and I tolerate them. I tolerate the LGBT. I tolerate the feminists and the Muslims and the fucking retarded, stupid, lazy fuckheads of this earth. I tolerate all of you. I tolerate the political correct fucking gaylord politicians, the wasteful. They're all. I'm so tolerant. Look at me. Look how tolerant I am. I completely disagree with all of them. I think they're wrong. But you know what? I would say that to them politely. I might stir a joke. I might rile them up. I might have a laugh or post a meme. But you know what? I do. It's for the most part, I tolerate them. And so we started with tolerance, and we all agreed that we should be tolerant in this world. Oh, we've got to be tolerant. And then you know what? They traded in being tolerant for political correctness, and that was the beginning of what we have now. Ultimately, these fucking losers use tolerance. They use it all. It's always the thin end of the wedge. It's always Pandora's box or a Trojan horse. And we were tricked with tolerance. Though we agree with it and we go, yeah, I can see how being tolerant is good. We sit here, so normal people, you're in a family and you're like, yeah, I tolerate my mum and dad and my siblings. They all annoy the shit out of me. We're constantly joking and prodding and stirring each other up. That's normal. You're at work and you're like, yeah, my boss, he's such a grumpy cunt. But I tolerate him. And fucking Jimmy and Jill and Jack and Dan and Dylan, and they're all, they give me the shits. And you're just constantly sledging and joking around and stirring the pot, and you tolerate each other. So when they come out with this tolerance bullshit, we all said, I guess so. That reminds me of my family or work. That reminds me of my mates. So we all thought tolerance was a good idea, and then they used tolerance and they introduced political correctness. Now, political correctness is now they have all these fucking weird ideas and weirdos who we tolerated. Now they want us to capitulate. They want Chris Lilley's show to be pulled down, people. Little Britain to be pulled off air. They're not happy with Winston Churchill and fucking Gandhi. They're not happy, mate. It's not good enough. Paw Patrol, the kids' cartoon, is offensive to Black Lives Matter. The black people who are fucking committing more than half of violent crimes, 13% of the population commit half of violent crimes in America, and they're intolerant. I can't believe how fucking... Here we go, Dapper Den's here. Yo, Steve-O. Oh, shit, he's gone. We thought I had him in there for a second. Let's watch a little bit of Jonah from Tonga before I rant off my head in pure joy. This is what your cancel culture has caused. This is what your political correctness has caused.
Absolute dropkick.
Having a joke and having a laugh. Oh, you can't do that.
Probably the most fucked up kid I've ever taught.
What the fuck's up with the sound coming through?
Your work's incomplete, Jonah.
Your dick's
incomplete.
Is disrespectful authority.
Maybe that's a good thing, so I don't get some copyright violation.
Provokes the shit out of me.
Well, I've read a good, interesting article, and it was saying how, like, wouldn't it be right? Chris Lilley, he plays all the characters in the show, multiple characters. So it'd be racist if he did. Imagine if he only played the white guy. He only played the white, powerful white male. That was all he played. I don't know if you can hear the sound through this, but you get the idea. Jonah is a fucking hilarious show. Funny as fuck. All the Islander kids love it and think it's funny as fuck. They became Australian in a heartbeat. They were like, I'm an Aussie. They're in on the culture. They are in on the culture anyway. But the thing is all correctness. They're going to turn Islanders into weak cowards. Because it's not any. Look at these boys. Look at the Islander boys in Tonga. This is the way it is. They're joking around. They're having a fun time. They're giving each other shit. They're having a laugh all the time, constantly joking. And everyone's like, "Yep, Jonah's just acting like a." I want to beat the shit out of every motherfucker. That's what he's doing. And guess what? Gonna make them fucking pathetic losers. Can't joke around. They can't see the brighter side of life. They can't get on with it when someone just, oh, it's offensive. You want the big fucking tough Samoan kids to be rolled in a little ball crying like little girls. Is that what they fucking want? Here he is, Dapper Dan. Yo, Steve. What the fuck is going on with this thing? Private message. Oh, yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on there. We'll try again. I don't know why it keeps doing that. But we'll see what's happening. Bang, Steve-O.
How we going, Dusty?
Good, mate. How you fucking
How's the audio?
Yeah,
good, buddy. Apologies for the delay today.
All
but
good,
made it through.
Yeah, sweet. Good as gold. I can hear your dog.
Out here.
That's all right. I tolerate.
See if I can get him inside.
I tolerate your dog.
Mate, it's the Dapper dog.
Yeah, the Dapper dog. No, force my political correctness onto you. The fans are afraid of dogs. They,
oh, really? They'll have to.
Someone's fearing for their life.
Oh, well, according to Peter, they're slaves, so it's there's slavery going on here with these dogs.
There's always another layer to this. Like, there's going to be no escape from the political correctness and all this fucking cancel culture shit. Like, eventually they will come after our fucking dogs. Like, if we don't tell them to fuck off now, you will not be able to own a cat or dog. Like, PETA they'll take meat off the menu. There'll be no cats and dogs. There'll be no fucking. It'll be turned into a demolition man where if you swear in public, you get a fine. We'll be
eating grass. That's about it.
It'd be fucking prison.
It'll be insects next. It'll be insects next, and they'll say that's animal cruelty.
Whoa.
It'll be just dirt at some point because then the plants will be it'd be cruel to eat plants. So
that's
stuck eating dirt and rocks.
Some retard university professor will write a fucking thesis about how it's evil to eat grass, and photosynthesis is one step away from being a self-aware being. Some shit like that.
Academia is a interesting place, There's some highly intelligent people there, but there's also people that are completely lack common sense to the point where, although they're book smart, they just don't have common sense. So it's almost, it almost defeats the purpose of,
They cannot relate. Yeah, they can't relate
Yes.
to reality and the everyday fucking people. They don't get it. It's like I went for a dinner with my missus' workmates, right? And they were like, "Oh, you live in Ipswich," and then they're like, "Oh, what? You go to church in Anala?" And then they're like, "How did you get here?" We're like, "Oh, we caught the train," and it was like everyone was like, "Oh my goodness!" And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Babe, have you noticed how all your rich white friends are like?" They like virtue signal all dinner long, like how fucking good they are to gays and blacks and fucking this and that, all this bullshit. It's like constantly fucking bullshit virtue signaling. And then as soon as you tell them you live in Ipswich with the poor people, you go to church where the black people live, and you caught public transport with all the drunks and fucking scum of society, they look down at you, and I'm like,
then you're an outsider.
I just said, babe, do you see how all your left-wing virtue signaling fucking loser friends are like really the most segregated out of everyone? I'm like, we live with all the fucking, we're living with the people. We're amongst all the people. These are our friends. We're getting on life fine, and the fucking liberal left-wing fucking losers who push all the shit are the most segregated people. They don't interact. They don't interact with the young Samoan people who think Jonah's fucking awesome because of the, you know what I mean? Chris Lilley, how his show Jonah's been taken down. So no Islander gives a fuck about Jonah. They're all probably spewing like, fuck, we made it into Australian pop culture. We made it. We're like, even the Aussies were like, hey, Sully, like whatever, pretending to be Samoan because we thought it was funny.
It made it like cool almost.
They made it like into our culture. We thought, haha, that was fucking funny as, and tag and dictation up on shit. And so now the Islanders are like, oh fuck. Hopefully they wake up and go, nah, this political correctness is bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, man, times change fast. That was 10 years ago, when that show was aired. And now it's, now it's completely offensive, and it just shows you how fast this has moved. It's getting to the point where you can't say anything.
Well, in
and
the
there can't be any
minds of
culture for anyone because it could be offensive.
In the mind of the left, they're the ones who invent this way of thinking. Like, they construct the narrow road. They are like the religious fanatic who is like so obsessed with it has to be like this. They invent it, and everything to them, there's a devil under every rock. Everything's offensive. Oh, fuck. Cancel that. Pull that statue down. Whinge, bitch, cry, moan. Carry on like a fuckhead. They are fuckheads. And you're the style master.
Yeah,
guru,
I mean, it's
bro. Like you're the dude who Dapper Dan. You're the man who knows about style, fashion. So, like, do you take away from this? It's like the limiting of art. Is this the limiting of what
absolutely,
you can and can't do?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that conversation shouldn't be limited whatsoever. I think that if you limit yourself from hearing something, even if it's offensive, all you're doing is limiting your own knowledge. It's interesting because when I was younger, I used to be more of a liberal. One of my heroes still today is Chris Hitchens, which is was a liberal back in the day. Obviously, he's passed away now, but I strongly agree with a lot of what Chris Hitchens taught, which was that freedom of speech is important, that censorship is wrong. I used to hate the right side of politics because I didn't like the hardcore totalitarian religious right. And then over time,
because
in the
Hitchens was the Hitchens was the atheist defender of the atheist position or whatever, going out and debate people on that.
I mean, a lot of his values were actually relatively Christian. The right to free speech, the right to treat others, with respect, regardless of whether you believe in them, whether you agree with them or not. And
it's funny
I was never
he was
an
confronted with.
Then, but
I just like how he was confronted with the Muslims, and he was just like, oh, he was kind of like, oh, the Christians are not so bad. These guys are fucking a huge problem. Like, and he was kind of like straight away aware of that. Like,
yeah, I mean, and he was a liberal, you know. If you look back, a lot of what he said has come to fruition. It was very ahead of his time. It's unfortunate that he passed. I think that when he passed, he was one of the few, well, there's still a couple, but he was a significant person in that community, which kept, you know, the left accountable and kept them sort of on the right path. Whereas now we've just seen it stray further and further to extremism.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah, it was
quite
like
a shame.
He was the kind of, if he said he was a liberal, if you could say he was a liberal, it was like, it's kind of a, you know, we take advantage, or we think about a time where even the left would be like unapologetically or unashamed, and they would say things to stir the pot. Like, he was a debater. He would be up there and he would say things to stir the pot and wind people up, and he didn't give a shit. He didn't capitulate. Yeah. Like, what has happened to
and he was
that? Like,
he was a great debater. That's one thing that we're seeing. He didn't ask for people to be shut down. He would just debate them and use his arguments to prove his point. Whereas now you're just seeing, well, if I disagree with someone, we have to shut them down. That's not a way to move forward. That's not progressive whatsoever. That's regressive. That's just censorship. I mean, it's you know, the Nazis had something similar. You know, they censored speech. They only released their own propaganda. What are the left doing? It's unbelievable. You know, I think there's still hope to bring them back, but you know, I think that they need to start waking up. That they're actually becoming totalitarian and the opposite of what true liberals are supposed to be. Which is, you know, why I've you know, I consider myself sort of, I guess, center right more than center left. But, you know,
I always say that, you know, tolerance. Like, I like that old idea of being tolerant. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't agree with you. I fucking disagree with you, but I tolerate you, and that's all right. Like, say whatever the fuck you want, and I disagree with you, whatever. You know, that guy's Muslim. That dude's a fucking, you know, homosexual, living that lifestyle. This person's some dog mum feminist. This person's, you know, living their life like that and this and whatever. And I say, I totally disagree with you all, but I tolerate you. I'm putting up with your shit. I'll work, you know, and that now is a position of the right, Christians, people of common sense. That's not a position of the left at all. There was a good comment right here to read. If it offends me, I'm going to fuck it up for everyone else. Mentality these soy sipping losers have. Yeah, so I totally agree. That's a fucking great way to put it.
It's true. You seen? It's that old saying. It's that old saying.
Have you seen?
I disagree with what. Oh.
I disagree with what you're saying, but I'll defend your right to believe it or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you heard of?
That's what it should be
about.
Have
you heard of Paw Patrol? Have you heard of Paw Patrol, the kids' cartoon?
Yes, I have heard that
no
it's been cancelled.
Yeah, well, they're trying. I don't know if they have cancelled it or they want to cancel it. Do you want to we'll watch the trailer, because I haven't seen anything about the show, but Black Lives Matter's offended because they don't want our children to, you know, look up to police officers. They're fucking anarchists or whatever. Let's have a little look.
It's absolutely insane. Absolutely.
This goes for a minute. So, apparently this is Paul. I think I typed in the official trailer. So this is so scary and offensive, Steve. Believe it.
Extremely.
Are you okay?
Oh, look, a black dude's in it, bro. Do you believe it? The first person we see on the trailer.
Let's do
this. How fucking stupid are they?
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
race, all on your own.
Thanks, Aussie, for the
We need to
diamond.
rescue him. Roger that, Ryder.
1 diamond.
Revving up their engines, shooting all the way.
These cars gonna fly.
I thought it was more about
This pup's ready to go up.
maybe this is just this episode about racing, but whatever. Looks fucking cool.
Wanna bet who wins? Marshall's got the heart of a racer.
Anyway, we get the idea. Oh, so that must have been the
Yeah,
movie.
even kids shows are offensive.
Hey, what is going on?
It's ridiculous.
Is my thing frozen or something?
It's looking fine to me.
Yo, I'm back.
We'll have to see.
Here we go. Yeah, so that must have been some Paw Patrol movie I wasn't aware of, but I just typed in. It's just
Happy
so
band.
funny that they would ban it. Like, I have no idea about that show. So, like, I've just typed in Paw Patrol trailer. It came up as the movie, but literally the first human we seen was a black guy. So, like, how fucking retarded are these people?
Yeah.
They're so pathetic.
It shows the police. It must be banned. Like this is becoming insane.
There's a heap of bloody there's a heap of news going on about what's happening in Australia with all this stuff. It's is the sound coming through all right? Because I'm getting a bit like glitchy. No internet. I can see.
It's fine for me.
Holy
We're
shit!
still alive.
Is this for real?
We've been taken down.
Tell me in the comment section, everybody.
Let's have.
Hey, no, it's saying having trouble connecting. Please check your internet connection. Maybe we're not. Maybe we've dropped out. I can go check. Technical difficulty, everyone. If you're still talking to me, maybe we are still live. Bang, we're back. Maybe we're still
I'm
working.
back. I dropped out.
Okay, sweet.
Although I
No
managed it with
worries.
the dog, which was useful. He's inside now.
Good as gold. Yeah, so they reckon Chris Lilley, they've gone after him and they've fucking cancelled his show. They've spotted him having a beer at Bondi Beach. So he's drowning his sorrows. I'm sure he doesn't give a fuck. Apparently he's just bought like a $1.5 million mansion. And it's like going through right now. So he doesn't give a fuck. He's like, I've made my money. Hopefully there's going to be other, streaming services that will pick up his show. I was reading an article. Apparently South Park's just been taken on. They've got like a $500 million deal. So there's like, the people who are going to stand up for fucking jokes and having a laugh, they're going to cash in the fucking big time on this one, I'm telling you.
Yeah. I mean, look at South Park. They've been offensive for years. They're like one of the most offensive, controversial shows out there. But a lot of what they've done, it's quite relative to the culture of the time. It's sort of making fun of our current culture, which I think is important. Once you lose humor, especially in dark times, it's important to keep humor, alive. Once you lose that, it just becomes darker. So, it'd be a shame to see comedies be cancelled, and I think that it's just outright wrong. It's not at all the direction we should be going in.
We definitely need to. I'll be looking forward to seeing who are the. I mean, Netflix are the biggest fucking instigators of this right now, and like it's so funny because we have Netflix is what has South Park in Australia, so it's like completely retarded, like that they would fucking do that to Chris Lilley, but let South Park do whatever the fuck they want. Well, I mean, I'm glad they're letting South Park do whatever they want.
Hey, it's better than nothing. I mean, look at their Muhammad episode where they, were threatened by, I think it was Al Qaeda at the time, or ISIS. I can't remember which period it was. But they were threatened that if they showed Muhammad that, they'd be bombed and they would attack the US, and they went ahead and did anyway. You know, that's sort of what we need. Whereas right now we're capitulating, and that's a very slippery slope. You know, once you start giving into one demand, it's more and it's more, and it's what you're seeing right now with the protests with Black Lives Matter. I mean, all the Democrats are on their side publicly, and it's actually the Democratic states which are hit the worst with this. So
the Democratic
never ends,
cities
you know?
and states are the ones with all the major problems.
Yeah,
it's so pathetic. Like, they're fucking losers. Yeah, I reckon, like, see, so many times I have posted a meme or whatever, and I go like, oh shit, this one's like, my missus will say like, oh, I seen that meme you posted, it was a bit much. And I'll be like, well, fuck, it only got likes and, you know, positive comments. No one gave a shit. So, like, the thing is
censorship.
Yeah, like, you get the censorship if someone's overly sensitive to, you know, political correctness. But if you just say, fuck political correctness, I'm going to post my meme, I'm going to do my whatever. And you know what? When you do post the meme, or you fucking have your say, or you stand up and you say, fuck off, we don't want that in this school or this fucking workplace or, you know, this house. Sorry, mate, piss off with that. You know, we stand our ground.
Yeah.
I reckon people will be surprised. Everyone will go, yeah, I agree. Like, fuck off with that, with your political correct bullshit. And that's what we need to do. Like, post your memes, post your funny shit, back yourself, don't capitulate, because I'm guaranteeing it, you'll be fucking surprised. You'll just get likes and positive comments. You don't need to worry about the bitching fucking loser left-wing political correct bullcrap, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think humor is a great way to show some truths to what's going on in society without being too offensive. Obviously, like, if you're just putting stuff out there to attack people and you're using me as an excuse, different story. But you know, if you're actually trying to shed some light onto some perspective or some truth through humor and through memes, you know, that's how, like, that was originally what liberalism was about. Was, you know, and comedians were generally quite liberal, and they would use their comedy to, you know, shed light on injustices in society. You know, you look at Dave Chappelle, for example. He was a genius at it, and yet I can guarantee that, you know, nowadays we'd look at a lot of that and say that's, you know, offensive and it should be banned to a lot of the left-wing media. But that was from an African-American man who, through humor, was giving his insight into how ridiculous racism was. And yet, you know, on the surface, it could be easily taken as controversial or, you know, offensive, and it's, in reality, you know, anything can be offensive, anything can be classed as offensive. The key is to, like, if you find it offensive, avoid it.
I like growing up when, you know, the Chappelle show was on, and it was fucking, we were just flooded with good comedy and good shows, and everything was, nothing was sacred. Everything was everyone was able to have the piss taken out of them. And it was like we were a post-racist society. We were over it. It was done. There was no such thing as racism anymore, and we could joke about it, and everyone had moved on, and we were fucking set. And it was just like everyone got a fair go. It was meritocracy. Everyone got a vote. Meritocracy. Everyone having a say. Everyone's just fucking getting on. But now the currency has changed. Like, the stepping up of the cultural Marxists and the identity politics, which is the conflict theory that's in Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto. Conflict theory. You get divided up into that group. And this is all this is. This is just
divide
they
and conquer.
have their idea in their brain where they want to divide everyone up so they can use them for their vote. They can use them to bring about their socialism, because they believe once they've brought about their socialism, it all, you know, Lenin said socialism always leads to communism. So They know this. That they're aware of this. Like maybe the average Joe, gay person, or Aboriginal, or feminist, or whoever's being carved into the identity politics group, they probably are unaware of this, but they're being played. They are playing them. And I think what we need to do is be like, guys, wake up to these fuckheads. They're just using you. Like, come on to the normal side where you can joke and laugh and get on and have mates and fucking be normal. Like, this is not normal to be offended all the time about everything. Be little crybaby bitches. They got a super chat from Dead Boot. Peace, lads. Can't chat. Bluetooth headset while I'm working. No worries. Thanks, Deadbeat. I fucking missed your that was a while ago, so hopefully he's still listening. Gets my shout out. The legend. And yeah, Aussie donated a bloody diamond in the D-Live. I'll pull up an article. Yeah, the legend.
Good on him.
Pull up this article. Jacinta Price's. Everyone's having a go at Jacinta Price because she, the Aboriginal lady. We went and seen her. She did a talk in Brisbane City.
Yeah.
And it was like really, really good. She did a great job.
Yeah, she's a very strong woman. Yeah, she's got a lot of courage. You got to give her that.
She definitely does. She's beautiful, very nice. She knows, I think the thing is she's sort of saying, when we went to a talk, she's like, my ancestors were like convicts. I'm Indigenous and convict ancestry. So she has like, both sides of the picture. And she's like there and she's, her talk was like really informative about Indigenous culture, which helped me understand Indigenous culture better. And like, sometimes we think of Indigenous culture and it's like it's all over the place and you can't comprehend. Like there's no kind of linear structure or way to understand it. Where she like really put it into like an orderly way to understand. Like she's like, oh, in my country, there's like, she's like, there would be all these stories, and each story was about like hunting seasons, wet seasons, where the fresh water supplies are. And she's like, so once you know the stories for your country, essentially you're like, it's a survival, you know how to survive off the land. And I'm like, fuck yeah, that's cool. And then breaking down Aboriginal family structure. And like the funny thing is she's teaching the whole crowd, like 90% of white people come to hear her talk. She's educating us on Indigenous culture. So we're learning to appreciate it. She's pulling the gems out of it and showing us the good parts. But she's being honest and she's unashamedly trying to look at Indigenous culture, say, these are the challenges now, let's fix it. While the left, they airbrush it and they blame fucking everyone else instead of saying, like what she does, she looks at it and goes, no, here's the problem. Alcoholism, domestic violence, crime, families breaking down. She's like, we need to fix these problems voluntarily. We need to have a culture of discipline and a culture of, good family structure, a bit of discipline, tackle these issues, and then we're going to actually be able to close the gap. And she's kind of saying, if we don't get real about the real issues, we're never going to close the gap. So you lefties are fucking, brain dead idiots who are just detached from reality. She's saying here, she said, I'm not going to shut up. Jacinta Price hits back at un-Australian accusations. So people are saying she's un-Australian, left-wing fuckheads. Alice Spring councillor Jacinta Price has commented on Australian national achievement towards Aboriginal Australians. The Indigenous leader and director of Indigenous research at the Centre of Independent Studies told Ray Hardley she found recent rhetoric from the left of politics about institutional racism absurd. People do not want to admit and recognise that we do accept violence culturally. So put that into context, what she's meaning. It's evident that Aboriginal people, we are committing crimes. If we want to lower the rate of black deaths in custody and incarceration, then we've got to stop committing these crimes. It's fairly simple. Isn't that, you know what I mean? It takes a, if you care about Indigenous people, we have to be able to have that conversation. You know, like if we care about the African Americans, we have to be able to say, well, you know, I think an African American community, it's like 75% of them are raised in fatherless homes or single parent homes. And then the stats are, doesn't matter what racial background you have. If you are raised in a single parent home, you're 5 times more likely to end up in jail. That means you're 5 times more likely that you're committing crime. Committing crime.
Not only that, you're more likely to have, you know, no job future, no career. The real issue is a lack of discipline. You know, this is why I think the army is quite useful for guys that lack discipline. It could be an option. I mean, to put guys that are from, you know, broken homes where they don't have that father figure around to teach them discipline, to teach them, you know, to make sacrifices to get what you want. The military is a great way to do that, in my opinion. You know, it teaches you discipline. It teaches you that, you know, if you want to get somewhere, you have to put in the work to do it. And that's one thing that, you know, it isn't just in the Aboriginal community. It's across, I think, general society now where, you know, I think it's because of the internet or who knows, but we want everything now. You know, we don't see the work that has to go into it to achieve it. You know, we see people on YouTube and on Instagram, and, you know, they're wealthy and they've got all these goods and they make it look so easy. When in reality, that's not how it works for everyone. You know, it takes dedication and hard work to achieve what you want to achieve. And I think that's the big issue, is that, you know, no one's going to give you anything in life. You have to earn it yourself. And it doesn't matter, you know, what skin color you are, that's just the facts. You know, some people are lucky and their parents are wealthy, and, you know, they for some period can get away with, you know, having stuff handed to them. However, in the long run, I've seen it time and time again where, you know, you'll see, you know, kids have grown up with wealthy parents and we're sort of spoilt, so to speak, and they grow up with almost no life skills. You know, they grow up with nothing really to show for what they've got. You know, that their parents might own a company and they're successful, but the child has grown up just knowing that they've never had to actually work for anything. And so once, you know, if those parents go away, even if there's money left over and passed on to them, you know, sometimes they'll be blown on drugs or alcohol, and, you know, or wasted on just gambling or, you know, anything. And it's tragic on 2 levels, because it's a legacy destroyed, and it's also, you know, someone's life. You know, at the end of the day, you want to see people succeed. And that's a classic example of, if you're given, you know, stuff handed to you, you'll never see the true value of anything, or how to be successful. You know, it's quite a shame.
I think, like, you know, raised in a single parent home, it's just it's simple that it takes 2 people to raise a child, a baby. A child is dependent on a mother or a primary caregiver. So the stress that is put on, if it's just the woman on her own or just the man on his own, there's so much stress involved. They're getting a less quality upbringing. Like, you need 2 primary caregivers helping each other. You can't do it on their own. Yeah. So the result of that is a stressed out single parent who's not financially is unable to earn because they're occupied being a carer. And then there's financial stresses. They're stressed out. They're unable to provide the kind of care and affection that is required. So it can be as simple as that, because there's a time in our life where you just need the love and affection and kindness and care of your primary caregiver. And if that parent can alleviate their stress, they become better parents. They're more present. They're able to care, and then they're able to the dad's there or the other parents there to interact and play, and the child learns how to regulate their emotions. They learn how to literally play. Playing is like being cheeky, stirring the pot. You pass the ball, they drop it. They have to learn how to laugh it off. You know what I mean? You don't born with an ability to fucking catch every ball that comes your way. You're gonna drop it. You need to go, oh fuck, laugh it off, ha ha ha, pick it up, go again. And that's a part of growing up. But this is probably what's happening with young, I would imagine. You know, the stupid thing is, you know, the feminists were told, you don't need a man, you've got social welfare. Well, they tried that. Single parent homes have now causing 5 times the rate of incarceration or 5 times the rate of crime. People are, you know what I mean? So it's fucking ridiculously idiotic. One of the boys have mentioned there's a brewer, Colonial Beer, have cucked out on their beer because the name is, you know, offensive. I've actually got the article here ready to rumble.
Yep.
I know I drink Coopers. I remember when Coopers did their when the gay marriage campaign came out, Coopers was doing it was like Coopers Light, and they were talking. They were having like little chats, and they'd run a few quick 30-second ads or something, or YouTube clips, and it was like people coming together and discussing things who disagreed, and it was like how we can disagree in a nice way or something. But anyway, Coopers is bloody good. I think even they capitulated on that, and the pressure was on for them. I drink Coopers. It's Australian-made and family-owned business. But yeah, this fucking brewery. So bottle shop chain drops Colonial Brewing Company beers. So obviously I think it's just the name being Colonial. They're like, oh, it's so fucking offensive. I'm so upset. Independent bottle shop chain Black Hearts and Sparrow has bowed to public pressure and refused to stop Colonial Brewing Beer Co. over claims the name is degrading. What a fucking joke. And apparently this all comes down to some loser on Twitter or something who emailed a heap of people and whinged like a little bitch. The bottle shop said it will donate the profits from its remaining stock to Warriors of the Aboriginal Resistance. I need to get onto these fucking Aboriginal groups and be like, God, you know you've been fucking bought and owned. They're selling themselves into slavery to the fucking Marxists. They're just being used. Here we go. The decision to dump Colonial came after a 3-year email campaign by Melbourne chef and writer, whatever the fuck his name is. And like, there you go. Just some little bitch on fucking Twitter or emailing them, having a little cry saying, this is, I bet you it was a white guy too. Like, look how good I am. Yeah. I'm virtue signaling how nice I am. Probably never fucking helped an Aboriginal. Yeah, probably found out he like bashed his black missus or something, like just a real piece of shit.
Or you know, pure speculation. He could be trying to release his own line of alcohol. So, you know, get rid of the competition.
Maybe.
You know, people don't see through this stuff, but it happens. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, it's all business tactics. It can be nasty, and you know, I mean, he works in the food industry, in the food and beverage industry, working in hospitality, owning restaurants. So who knows? You know, guys do all the time. They'll own a restaurant and they'll release their own line of alcohol, or you know. So I mean, who knows? You know, I think that it's you know, to change your whole branding because of one guy that's offended. Come on, like it's, you know, it's
fucking pathetic.
Unfortunate that we live in this day and age.
Yeah, how bad? Like I would, you know, tell guys if you can get hold of that beer, Colonial fucking Brewing or whatever it was called. What was it called? Colonial Brewing. Fucking get onto that, guys. Like if you're in Melbourne or if I see that out, I'll be dead set buying a fucking bottle of this Colonial Brew, and I'll be saying, fuck them. You know, they can stick it up their ass for all I give a fuck. Like they don't give a fuck.
Fight back and increase the sales.
that bottle shop, that guy don't give a fuck about it. Aboriginals, they can virtue signal and say, oh, we'll give, the fucking $100 stock we have left to that beer. We'll donate it to the Aboriginal warriors. Virtue signal a little bit more, you know what I mean? It's all fucking lies. Yep. And the thing is they're inventing the offense. They're inventing the racism. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I
guarantee
there's a percentage of people who are fuckheads. You know what I mean? That exists. There's I think it's like a 5% of all populations will have like a low IQ, and they generally that 5% of people will occupy our prisons in the dole and all this stuff. And in that, not all of them, but in that group of people, there's people with mental health issues, all this. There's a percentage of the general population of the planet who are fuckheads. Doesn't mean they're racist or sexist or homophobic.
It's unavoidable.
Anything. It's just human nature. Unavoidable. And they're just political correct,
but
bubble wrapping reality and being like, oh my God. They can't bubble wrap the human experience out. They cannot take take it out. Like, look at the Garden of Eden story, and it's like, hey guys, if you don't eat this, you'll surely die. First thing they do is they make the mistake. It's like, oh yeah, sweet, eat it. Like, this story is there for a reason. Like, we must understand it. It's a tale as long as time. It goes back forever, and we need to understand. No one's perfect. Look at yourself in the mirror. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. You put this fake standard up for everyone in your world and in life, and it's unattainable. We can't live it. They can't live it. It's unattainable. It's fucking pathetic. And all it is it's a demoralizing tactic, Steve. It's a part. Have you seen that fucking, who's that bloke who goes on about it? He's like an ex-KGB dude, and he says like this demoralization is the first step of bringing about the communist regime. Like, I swear to God, this is just a part of, what's his name? Fucking Yuri Bezmenov. I'll post this up in the comment section. You guys have got to, if you see this video, you'll understand and be like, holy shit, yes, maybe it is like a campaign to demoralize. They want everyone to be on the like, oh, I'm a fucking, if you can't be like, they want you on a guilt trip, or you have to be guilty. They want you to be guilty of something or a victim of something. That it's a demoralization campaign. They're detached from reality. They are fucking lying bastards. You'll see this. Anyway, once the show's done, fucking, I'll add this link to the description. I just posted it then, but it's this Yuri.
We're living in
here. Thanks to the super
1984.
Yeah, Yuri. He had it all sorted. Thanks, brother. Thanks for the super chat. George Orwell. Yeah, I need to read this book.
Yes.
It's like we have to constantly remind ourselves that, look, like we just established the idea that a percentage of all people on the planet, there will be a percentage of fuckheads, right? Maybe the people pushing this are the real fuckheads. Like, I don't look at the woman, the gay, the Aboriginal, any of these people like they are fuckheads. I look like they're being manipulated, they're being controlled, they're eating the poison, they're drinking from a poisoned well. And the real problem is whoever's fucking feeding them this shit. You know what I mean? Whoever the fucking losers are who want to use these people and poison these people. And it has to boil back down to that communist idea of conflict theory and Karl Marx Communist Manifesto. They want to break everyone up. They want to use them. They're just cannon fodder.
The way I see it is, each of us can probably have a friend, someone from the past that has been in the group, your group of friends, you're having a beer or whatever, and they're just like they just can't keep their mouth shut. You know, they always cause problems. They're like the troublemaker of the group, right? How do you handle that? Do you say to everyone that no one can speak because we're too scared of what, you know, Joe, throwing out there what Joe says? Like, you know, do you shut down the whole group discussion? Or when Joe makes, you know, a stupid comment, do you go, dude, what are you on about? You know, like this is where we're heading. We're heading to a mass situation where no one can say anything because, or it could be offensive, or because one person, you know, it's just saying that was a joke that didn't quite land. It's ridiculous. You know, it's
we're giving
you know,
them
it's a
authority.
global
We're
censorship.
letting the nanny state have authority in our lives to dictate the fucking standards. Like, if just because they say this is the standard, they're inventing that. That's all bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, it's a fucking lie. They're trying to make you into a victim group or a guilt complex group, whatever they're trying to do, and just we have to be aware of it. I seen Deers in the comment section. I seen Deer posted some savage meme the other day, and it was like the woman who George Floyd broke into her house and bashed her up and put a gun to her belly, or I don't know. And like, I was like, fuck, that was ballsy.
Behavior.
And it was good on you. I say bravo for posting that meme. Deadbeat, he's saying Frankfurt School long march through academia. Google that when we've got time, Dusty. Yeah, we did a show last was it the other week, last week? I think it was last Tuesday actually. We went through the Frankfurt School, and it's pretty much like there is two parts of there's Karl Marx Communist Manifesto, and then that goes through conflict theory, which is identity politics, carving everyone up. And it's like it's identity politics using people as a class struggle to pit everyone against each other or fighting for the resources. That's more the economic model. But then there's the Frankfurt School, and it goes into critical theory. And that's really where they are looking at like news, music, movies, sports, whatever they can, and they're like, oh, this is the cultural constructs that are being used to promote ideas, and they're like, oh, we have to use them ideas to promote their own version of reality, which is the Marxist version of reality or interpretation of the way it should be. And so it's all this that's essentially what the Frankfurt School goes on about. It's more using and manipulating the culture, and it's the long march through the fucking institutions. So it's all together. It's all different prongs of the same.
It is. I mean, they were intelligent in that sense. I mean, you know, politics is downstream from culture. You know, seeing that right now. You know, the whole Black Lives Matter movement is affecting politics, and it comes from culture. You know, for years we've had the media changing culture. We've had like news reports changing culture, and people have, you know, said it for years that, you know, a lot of the mainstream media out there are telling us one side of the story, and they're lying to us on a regular basis, and people just don't believe it. They, you know, a lot of people have just thought that, you know, you can trust the media, when now you're starting to see it with the whole riots. I mean, they're still saying that they're peaceful protesters. They're peaceful protesters while they're having bottles held past their face. You know, while they're having people screaming out, you know, obscenities to them, and there's people getting beaten in the background. They're still saying, "Oh, it's peaceful here." It's you know, it's unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, it's a good thing in reality. The mainstream media are going downhill, and new media is taking over. And the unfortunate part is that the mainstream media is actually getting worse because they're almost clinging on to what they've done in the past. They're digging deeper with it. And
they
it's not going to work for them.
They understand like clickbait. It's like sex sells, clickbait. Fucking they're selling the hype and the drama. Yeah, so like
they've done it for years. Look at this.
It used to be a Current Affair and Today Tonight were like, they were them shows that were real fucking clickbait. and everyone knew it, and whatever was on there, you'd just be like, whatever, it's fucking bullshit. And for the most part, your fucking afternoon, night news was fairly fucking spot on. But you see now, it's like the Today Tonight current affair model
They're
of
in there as
clickbait.
well.
That's become the
Yep.
model. That's become the mainstream media. It's like, here we go, another click, fucking super chats coming on. Do you guys believe that if you start acting like lefties by not allowing people on your platform that you're adopting leftism? Yeah, I think I've had a good chat to Port and a few guys, and like that made me understand that's true. Like we don't need to capitulate to these people. We don't need to adopt their belief system. Like they are creating a poisonous ideology. You know what I mean? And they're the ones who are going, fucking Chris Lilley and Jonah is offensive. There's fucking, that name of that beer. Oh my God. Like that fucking statue. Whatever. Like, shut the fuck up. And like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I will have people on here who I don't agree with, or I don't have to agree with. Who the fuck agrees with everything everyone believes? Me and my wife don't agree on everything. Me and my fucking brothers and my mother and father don't agree on everything. Me and all the boys, I don't know anyone I agree with everything on. It doesn't fucking matter. The thing is, I will have people on this show who I'll bring them on because they're fucking. I believe in free speech. I think people should have a say. If you don't agree with them, debate them. I believe there should be the marketplace should be big enough for fucking Jonah and Chris Lilley and South Park and fucking this beer company, and you should be able to purchase and consume it as you will. Because the truth is they're not hurting anyone, not offending anyone. That's all bullshit. People want to consume this shit. It's harmless. There's nothing wrong. The biggest problem is the poisonous idea, the poisonous political correct idea that is it's just the biggest form of control, to let people control your mind. The communists failed. We banned slavery. That's no longer a thing. We defeated the Nazis. That's gone. The Soviet Union collapsed. That's gone. So what they've got now is the Marxists have formulated into cultural Marxists, where they want to control our minds and our culture. Now, the thought police, the word police, that's a thought crime. That's hate speech. You can't do that. You can't think that. You can't say this. You can't say that. It's all bullshit.
Yeah. It's closer to actual Nazism.
Yeah. Thanks for the bloody super chat, brother. And it's
that was a great point.
I'm like really grateful that now we've got Telegram, we've got BitChute. I've been uploading a fuckload of BitChute videos even this afternoon. So make sure you sub to my BitChute. I've got like a podcast and a fucking see if I can. I'll post it in the comments section so you just get me BitChute. This is just one of the videos uploaded. I think that's fucking properly uploaded. Takes a while to come through. But anyway, we've got the BitChute. We've got Telegram. We've got bloody D Live. We're streaming on D Live right now. And, so we've kind of built up a bit of a safety net, we've got a bit of backup now that we can speak the truth. Like, I play the game enough. I don't try to get myself deplatformed. I do respect the fact that someone's business is YouTube or Facebook, and I'm renting a room. It's like you're renting a room of a house. I'm renting a room in a house called YouTube and Facebook or whatever. So I respect their rules, but I don't agree with their rules. Like, I believe in freedom of speech. These are not freedom of speech platforms, but we can use these platforms to bring people to Telegram, D Live, BitChute, and we can say, hey, But we need to be honest, and the honest truth is wake up to the socialists, wake up to the Marxists who are fuckheads, and they just truly are. This all comes from the left. All the shit where they want to teach your kid that there's fucking all these different weird genders, the degendering of our society. It's all from the left. Filling the woman's head with this feminism. It's like toxic feminism. That's just bullshit. These women are becoming cat mums and not having children and fulfilling the greatest biological gift. I say to my wife, she's pregnant now, and I say, a man can't do this. A man can't do this. This is the greatest thing ever. I'm so grateful for you. So there's the true appreciation of a woman that only a woman can do these things. And I say, see, we're different. You can do this. This is amazing. And she's whatever. And you champion each other. We're different. We're different.
It's like yin and yang almost. Men and women are very different, but together, working together,
we're complementing each other.
And you raise a more balanced human being, which is going to benefit the next generation of people, because no one wants troublemakers in the world. No one wants, bad people. And unfortunately, there's a higher risk if you're a single parent household, whether it's male or female, that your child is going to end up ill-balanced. You see single mothers, the children will lack discipline. You see single fathers, the children can lack empathy sometimes and lack some basic social skills due to the fact that they have issues relating to others, because that tends to come more from the mother. So, it's unfortunate that we live in a society now where it's almost encouraged to be a single parent, and where the family has been degraded, and all we're going to see is a worse society in the long run. People are going to look back at this period in time and say that how was it that these people were able to invent the camera phone, able to have computers and technology, and yet they didn't understand the importance of family, to our basic biology. We're talking about implants, implanting and transcending like human consciousness.
It comes back to,
we can't even look at families. It's priorities out of whack right now.
And this is the thing. It's like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. It's like there's there's a funny thing. So if I said in comedy, it's like there's nothing sacred in comedy, that you can joke about things, right? And that's the thing. It's a joke. We're taking the piss. But then you have the left-wing side of things where nothing is sacred. So right-wing side of things where we want to have a joke and a laugh, and we say, nothing's sacred when you enter into meme zone or comedy zone. Warning, warning, this is fucking, with the boys having a beer or at work or whatever. And we want to be able to have the joke where, we don't want anything to be sacred. We want to be able to have a laugh. That's more the right-wing way of seeing things. Being an adult, it's being mature. It's being able to have a laugh and let it be in water off a duck's back. But then you got left-wing side of thinking where nothing's sacred. Family's not sacred. Your tradition, your culture, none of it's sacred. They find nothing sacred about it. So they're willing and wanting to progress and change and move on from all social structures or traditions or religion, any of it. They want to progress beyond that. They want to go beyond that. And this is a part of what Deadbeat was saying before about the Frankfurt School. The Frankfurt School taught critical theory, where they literally will look at the family and the patriarchy, and they'll be like, this family structure of the patriarchy, this is a mechanism of control and hoarding wealth. So they criticize it and they turn on that, and then they devise a way to deconstruct it. They look at your religion or your culture, the things handed down to all of us, and through the Frankfurt School and through critical theory, they criticize it and they break it down. They have no value in it. They don't see the value in my Christianity or in family structure or in heterosexual monogamy or traditional marriage or traditional family structures, any of it. Nothing. The flag, the fucking monuments, the anthem, they hold none of it sacred. Do you know what I mean? They go through in there, and the mechanism is to criticize it, to pull it down, to say, oh, to see how this is a method of control, this is a form of oppression. We're trying to free them from it. They don't see any value in it. They find no value in it. Here's just another super chat. It seems there's a lot of controlling happening. This must be the most controlling time. I don't know if there's ever been such a time of control when you consider like all the fucking the lockdowns, the shutdowns, the fucking everything going on right now. It's the control freaks are like, we're
living in
I don't know if there's ever been a time like this where they're censoring speech and thoughts, and your business can't operate and you can't go there, and there's cameras on up here watching you, and fucking they're monitoring you, fucking this and that.
Yeah, it's completely totalitarian. You know, what happened to privacy? What happened to free speech? What happened to all these values that used to be liberal values? They're completely gone now, and it's completely authoritarianism, where if you disagree with us, you must be shut down. That is not a way to progress any society. You know, you need to have the good and the bad, and it needs to be discussed, because otherwise we will be on a rail line locked in where we can't change the direction. And to give one government or one person that much power and control never ends well. It's never going to end well.
Oh yeah.
People, there'll be more inequality than ever before, which is, I think, that this is what people don't realize, is that there's 100 years ago, you would go to work for basically like the entire day. You would work the entire day to make enough money to buy food for your family, and you had no holidays, you had no playtime, you had no free time. We have so many luxuries now, and it's because of those values, because of being able to give people freedoms, and to allow ideas to be shared, whether they're controversial or not, or they're good, they're bad. That is all subjective, right? So because we had all this freedom to create ideas and to create like inventions and to discuss things, we progressed faster as a society, to the point where now, you're far better off living now than you were 100 years ago or 200 years ago. I think we look back on the past and sort of take for granted, what we have now. I mean, yes, we have issues now with censorship, but we've come a long way, and it's very easy to fall back into how we used to live, where if you want to give the government to control your business,
like Chaz, is it Chaz?
Yeah.
That's how they're descending
that's a classic
back
example.
to the fucking shithole.
Exactly. That won't last long. They're not flourishing like they claim. They're starving, and they're using extortion to make money from local businesses there. And ironically, these are the people that called Trump a racist for building a wall, that want to defund the police. And the first things they do in their city is build a giant wall and set up armed guards to act as police officers. Yeah. So, how does this? We're living in a Monty Python sketch right now. This is, you would have seen this on a comedy, 10, 20 years ago. Now this is reality. You have to laugh at it. You have to laugh at these people that have set up Chaz and think that they're building a revolution, when they're just hypocrites that are unfortunately starving, and they got to go down. It's it's unfortunate. Anyone that's living there should get the hell out as soon as possible, because it is just a stupid, moronic idea.
Old Chaz,
yeah, it's a great live TV show.
Stunning and tolerant, the best live TV show ever. If I was there, dude, I would totally fucking just YouTube live it and just go in and be like, yeah, mate, no worries. Just pretend I'm amongst them. I'm a fucking true believer. Just film it, just live. That's what we need. Just send in a few undercover fucking YouTubers there. Be like, what? I'm just on my phone. And they're like streaming it live. We get to see the whole fucking shit show fall to pieces.
I mean, unfortunately they're starving. You know, it's an experiment that we're going to see how it plays out. So far, not looking good. So
Capitol Hill autonomous zone. It's pretty fucking funny. We'll wrap this live up, and I've still got heaps of articles that we didn't touch on tonight. This is the thing.
Mate.
I'm gonna keep these articles, and we'll add to them, and we're gonna continue the attack against the political correctness, the cancel culture, the losers who want to tear down our monuments. We're going to continue the attack on Thirsty Thursday, where we go deep after these Marxist fucking losers. You know what I mean? It's not good enough. And I think we can have a laugh along the journey. So thanks for coming on, Steve-O. And
my pleasure, mate.
You've got your Telegram group, Dapper Den, where you help blokes become studs and fucking become style gurus and that. So I mean, all things stylish, all things stylish and creative are under attack like never seen before. They're narrowing the gates of our creativity with all this bullshit. So I think the artistic world needs to wake up and go like, this is fucking bullshit. Thanks for all the super chats, guys, and thanks D-Live for the lemons. We have got Aussie Mozzie donated 100 bloody lemons, and thanks for everyone who did the super chats. Make sure you join me Telegram chat. I've got the Dusty Bogans mates, and I've also made, if you join the Dusty Bogans mates and you're too out of control, we'll send you to the Wild West. We've created a freedom of speech chat, and it's pretty fun, actually. So I believe in freedom of speech.
It's just a debate page almost. It's quite interesting.
It's just the debate page because, we've got a heap of people who maybe just want to more chill and meme and share articles and Dusty Bogan's mates. And then the few people are a bit more blah, 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 blah. You could have two people who are a bit more fiery take over a whole chat of over 100 people. So I was like, right, let's just remove these few characters and they can just go hard. And it's actually been pretty fun over there. So,
I think I saw you put a timer on as well. So there's no piling on of just spamming messages, which is quite a good idea.
I removed the timer.
In there,
I don't know.
It's been removed now.
Yeah, I don't know who put that timer on there. Some people private messaged me and said, can we remove the timer? And I'm like, what timer? And went in there and okay. No, all good. Maybe there was a time where maybe one of the admins had to cool someone's jets for a minute and then fucking left it on for half a day or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, mate.
There you go. So they go to the Wild West to battle it out. That's it, mate. We've created the Wild West, so there is that. So because I believe in freedom of speech, I don't want to silence people, whether they're fucking extreme left, right wing, fucking whatever freako they are. I don't want to silence them. So I hate to kick someone out of my chat and being like, brother, you're just fucking going on and on and on and on and on, and you're putting everyone off, and people are just not interested. Instead of doing that and booting them, at least now I got the option. I can be like, hey, brother, here's the link to the Wild West. This is your new home. You can debate and fucking talk shit 24/7 for all I care. I'm not going to police it over there. It is genuinely the Wild West.
It's a great idea, mate. It's just a free speech page.
Yeah.
It's great.
And it's no ideas on that page fucking are mine. Or, my ideas that come from me posting that's it. I'm responsible for mine. Whatever other people do, they do whatever the fuck they want. I don't care. But anyway, cheers, thanks for fucking tuning in, YouTube and D-Live.
My pleasure.
Have a good one. Thanks for coming on.
No